Hello, I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
This is Ken and Josh Go to the Movies. Today we are reviewing Be Kind, Rewind, directed by Michel Gondry, starring Jack Black and Mos Def.
Most definitely. It is a comedy about two friends who, one of them, Jack Black, decides that the power plant that he lives next to is brainwashing him, so he decides he has to destroy it. And in doing that, he becomes magnetized. And he goes into his friend Mos Def's video store. It's actually Danny Glover's video store. Mos Def has just taken care of the place for a while. And he erases all the tapes. And so one customer comes in and asks for Ghostbusters. And they scramble with an idea of, hey, let's just remake Ghostbusters real quick. She's old, she'll never realize it. And from there, hilarity ensues as they remake everything.
And Fats Waller is also involved to an important degree.
Yes.
But, I mean, when we heard about this movie, we basically thought this whole setup was kind of, just to get to a bunch of funny movie remakes.
Yeah,
that's a surprisingly small part of the movie.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard about this movie being made, like a year ago, year and a half maybe, I thought this is a great idea for a comedy, just remaking all these movies in a really poor fashion. It could be really funny, and that's not really what this movie is at all.
It's something different, and it's a little bit of a disappointment. And mostly I blame Michel Gondry, who did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which was a fantastic movie, and a whole bunch of fantastic music videos, but has serious problems as a writer, and I felt like this was kind of poorly constructed, and had some serious just... Like you noticed that Jack Black's character went through 3 different changes.
Yeah, it starts off and he's this kind of nebbish weirdo, and later on he kind of stops being this weird guy, and he's suddenly just this really assertive, funny Jack Black slapsticky guy.
Right.
And then he's back to the nerd again. It's just all over the place. And I don't know, he was funny, but he wasn't consistent at all.
I mean, Jack Black's a great physical comedian, but it was just not a weird character. Yeah. Mos Def's kind of got this mealy mouth thing going. He's a good actor, but...
Yeah, for a guy who's a musician primarily.
Right.
Well, maybe not even primarily anymore, but... He does a good job at acting, I think. And Danny Glover.
Danny Glover's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think there was a telling detail early in the movie that I noticed that shows a lot of my problems. Jack Black's at the power plant, and the police officers go to investigate. They don't catch him, and when they're leaving, they say, "Let's go get some ice cream," which doesn't make any sense. That's not what police officers would do, and it's a weirdly childlike thing to say. And a lot of the dialogue in this movie sounds like it was kind of being written for 12-year-olds. I don't know. Kind of Michel Gondry's whole thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is you're going to go see this movie because you want to see them remake movies in a really funny way, and that's such a small part of it, and it's kind of spoiler warning, I guess, but it turns out that they get sued or whatever for doing this. Copyright infringement. And so they decide, instead of doing that, they're going to make their own movie about Fats Waller, who may or may not have lived in their town. Mm-hmm. And so it goes from this movie you were expecting to see about remakes to suddenly a movie about Fats Waller. And, I mean, maybe Fats Waller is interesting to some people, but not the people that are going to see this movie.
He is a great jazz musician, but I was also kind of bored by the entire documentary.
Yeah.
And it leads to a sort of heartwarming ending that wasn't really that heartwarming.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it was kind of weird and all over the map in parts, and even the movie remakes were a little bit disappointing.
Ghostbusters
was really funny.
That's the only one they spent any real time with. The rest of them...
Not as well developed.
I mean, there's some of them that are literally just one scene, and it's just a flash of 5 or 6 different remakes.
Right, yeah. 2001, they'll just show one shot from.
Yeah,
it's just a chance for Michel Gondry to show off his weird handcrafted camera tricks and stuff.
Yeah. It was a disappointment.
It was, unfortunately.
There's some laughs. Jack Black getting electrocuted was really funny.
That was very funny. And, the
really
Ghostbusters thing was funny. But, yeah.
It's just not as good as the premise makes it sound.
But hey, maybe Michel Gondry will eventually release the smaller movies by itself, and they'll be good.
I somehow doubt that.
Short film is his medium, I feel like.
Yeah. So.
I gave this movie A Child's Picture of a Dog, which is sort of funny, but also pretty badly made.
Okay. I give it 2 VHS tapes out of 4. Really simple. Like the movie.
All right. Well, thanks for watching another review. I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
This is Ken and Josh Go to the Movies.